Thank you for joining us today. I will call the May 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Native American Commission to order. We'll begin with an introduction of current commission members, starting with Lisa.
Lisa Ducheneau, Red Lake Band of Chippewa.
I'm Dale Sayers, a member of Blackfeet Nation.
Whitney Johnson, Oglala Sioux Tribe.
Ashley Littlewolf, Boys Fort Band of Ojibwe.
Amanda Strauss, Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate.
And do we have anybody on the phone? No? Okay. The next item is going to be to approve the agenda and the minutes from the March 7th meeting. Can I get a motion to approve both the agenda and minutes from that meeting?
All motion.
Can I get a second?
Second?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Next item is public comment. Speakers must state their name and will be limited to 2 minutes. Comments should not contain profanity or personal attacks. Staff, do we have anybody signed up for public comment? No? Okay. Is there anyone who is wishing to present and has not signed up yet? All right. Well, we will move on then to the report from Indigenous Association. Looks like we have somebody here for that.
Hello, Buju. My name is Brandon Beatty. I am the Executive Director of the Indigenous Association. I have Candy Smith here and her granddaughter. So we're all here to do a report. Let me just kind of start off by saying I made a little list like I try to do just so I don't go rambling on and on. There's some really exciting things that have happened in the last couple weeks. One was that we held the the North Dakota Human Rights Summit in the Indigenous Association space. We had some really good conversations that were around some of the human rights issues in our state, and some conversations a little off topic of what was planned, but they were really good, and the community seemed really engaged in having those conversations. It was a good time. We are if you get a chance, I was able to speak on the Native Lights podcast. It's hosted by Ampers and sometimes is done by Native News. So I was able to talk to Leah Lem, and it was a little bit of a conversation about the start of the Indigenous Association. We had some conversation about the Fargo Native American Commission and kind of the start of the organization. So if anyone's interested in kind of learning more about that, it is on the Native Lights podcast. Speaking of podcasts, we're going to be launching our podcasts as an organization probably at the end of May. We're working on getting all of all our segments scheduled and worked out, and so it's going to be a fledgling effort at the beginning. We're going to be working through and trying to figure out how to do a weekly update podcast for the Fargo-Moorhead area around activities and events that are happening. So hopefully it will be something that will be useful for the community to stay connected and know what's going on. We still have our open craft nights on Thursday nights. That's from 6 until 9. Just bring a project you're working on. We usually have some food, some snacks, different things going on. We don't always have like supplies for projects, but if you bring something or if you come and you want to work on something, we can help find some supplies for that as well. There's usually people there that are really talented and skilled in different areas around beading or sewing. So there's always a person that's there to help, but there's no like structured class time during that time. One of the big events coming up, and I don't know if Amanda's going to mention this too, but the Faceless Doll Project is coming to the Indigenous Association on May 5th. It's being hosted by the Missing and Murdered Indigenous Relatives Task Force and by Agnes Yellow Bear and Melanie Monez from Bismarck. It's going to be a community art project that centers around families and survivors, but it's open to all. They ask that you wear red if you can, but you can come as you are. It's going to be happening from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Indigenous Association, 720 First Avenue North. It should be a powerful event. And we have some exciting news about some of the things that are going on with our a few grants that we've received around maternal health and lactation. So I'm going to let Candy Smith discuss that a little bit more.
Hi, I'm Candy Smith. So I have been running the breastfeeding support group through the Indigenous Association. And we had, oh my gosh, like 3 or 4 months ago applied. No, it was like before Christmas. We applied for an Indigenous lactation training. Cami Goldhammer will be the instructor along with, I'm sorry, I can't remember what Kim's last name is, but they're going to be coming out from the state of Washington to provide the Indigenous lactation training. Normally, I think it's like about $1,000 to take the course, and they have a like a grant through the CDC, so we're able to offer it for free. The North Dakota Department of Health is also going to help provide some per diem for folks that are coming from outside of the FM area to help support with like room and board and meals. So that's really exciting. That's going to take place June 24th through the 28th, and we'll be going through the process here probably hopefully in the next week or so to be able to start getting applications set up so that individuals can reach out and apply, and then also for the funding if they need that. My email address is candy@indgns.org. So if anybody wants to reach out to me related to the Indigenous lactation training. And then also we have another grant through the Rotary Club for a doula training. So we are going to be putting on, so they're not related, but somebody else from state of Washington, Seattle area is going to come and put on that training for us as well. But yeah, so we're looking for a group. We'll be recruiting and going through the same application process for that program. And that's going to be really exciting because as we've been working with moms in the community, we realize how important that postpartum, care is, especially our Indigenous population. So that's all I have about that, I guess.
Thank you. And so Candy Smith is Osage Nation. She's been doing nutrition and breastfeeding and postpartum work as a nurse. And so she's really experienced in a lot of these different things. And so it's really exciting to have these opportunities. The Indigenous lactation counseling training is specifically for Indigenous community members. So if you know people that are interested in learning more about lactation and helping support that in our community, our goal is to make sure that we have people that are representative of our community in these spaces, helping people in our community in supporting them in lactation and being successful during a very stressful time. Anyone who's done that knows that it's kind of a struggle, and having that support can make all the difference. And then the doula training will not necessarily be just for Indigenous providers who want to be doulas. They'll be for people who work with the Indigenous population. So there's a lot of things happening, a lot of things going on. Visit our website at indgns.org. Check out our Facebook page if you want more information. Email Candy if you want to know specifically about those two things coming up. It's Candy with an I, CANDI at indgns.org, and then she can get you more information. Miigwech, thank you for your support, and we appreciate you all.
Thank you for being here. Does anybody have any questions or anything for
Sure, run away.
Brandon or Candy before they take their leave? Thank you. Now we're going to move on to subcommittee reports. Are there any subcommittees that want to go ahead and start with providing a report?
One thing to mention here as far as the Health and Wellness Subcommittee, we did get a communication from Catlin Christie, who's the Fargo City and Planning Assistant Planner. So the Fargo Cass Public Health Department is looking or seeking NAC advisement for their tobacco prevention campaign geared towards Indigenous community members. So there's going to be, I think, 2 to 3 of us that are part of the NAC's Health and Wellness Subcommittee that'll be participating as part of that focus group. So there's going to be 4 to 5 meetings upcoming, and looking for providing feedback on messaging, photos, and so forth. So we look forward to providing updates as part of that campaign.
Okay, great. Any other updates from the other subcommittees?
I can give an update on Savannah's Day resolution drafting. We did meet yesterday, and we finalized a draft that with NAC members and Ruth Buffalo, and waiting for feedback on that. And so that's up and rolling, and we're hoping to have that approved and ready by August 9th. But we'll have hopefully updates. Our next meeting won't be till September, so that'll actually be after that date. But we did finalize our part of it, and we're hoping that we can get feedback from Liaison John Strand.
Great, thank you. Any other subcommittee updates? All right. Is there anything for staff reports? Oh, Mayor Mahoney is here.
I'm sorry I missed the public announcement, but I wanted to come to your commission and ask this question. I think I say bonjour, is that hello, is that right now? Did I get that from Ricky White, right? My concern is in our homeless population, 31 to 35% of those people are Native American. And my concern is can we engage your commission to help us work on that? And can we even go greater than that? Can we look at the different entities, White Earth, Three Tribes Affiliate, to see if they also want to engage with us to try to address that issue? And in my mind, what we have to do when we do a Housing First, we don't always have funding for a Housing First. Can we look at some type of partnership that helps us in that population to try to get people housing? Because what we learned from Milwaukee, if we can get people into housing, that solves many of the problems that we have. And your commission would probably be more powerful than me asking to have that happen, because if you would ask that, then my perception is that perhaps the leaders would say, we're getting this from the urban area. And I'm just trying to think of it. So what Milwaukee did at times is they actually guaranteed rental, okay? So what they set up is a process where you would rent an apartment complex, and rather than the landlord being the person that interact with the client, it'd actually be somebody from either our engagement center, or it'd be somebody that, if it's from the community, whether it's Indigenous team or if we had somebody do that, where they were able to keep people in their apartments because they were dealing with people they knew. It was oftentimes hard to do it if Goldmart did it and their manager came and said, hey, you're misbehaving, we're going to kick you out. But when we found that actually advocates for those people to stay in there and what I would call supportive staff, then those people would stay in those apartments. So I was just bringing this as a question to your team. Do you want to get involved or help us with that? Do you think it's part of your mission, not part of your mission? But I know in family health care, we've worked very hard with the Native American population on their health issues, the diabetes, the different issues that we have in the community. But is there a way we could look at the homeless in our community and look at, could we entertain or try to work with staff to try to come up with some type of plan? And I don't know what you would ask. Would it be financial aid that would come from the different tribes? Whether it would be support, or whether it would be people, or what it would exactly be. But I just think that you may be able to get better participation than if I run out and try to get that type of participation. So it's just a question to the group.
Yeah, I think we have a couple members of the housing committee, Ashley and Lisa here, and they're both work with entities that are involved in those efforts. So I would defer to them for any kind of updates on what you're involved with already.
Yeah, we had a meeting, it seemed like a little while ago now, but I think the housing subcommittee, like that would align with what we've been where we've kind of hit stagnant on. And I think after the Housing First energy and all of the conversations, like this is the time for the housing subcommittee to figure out what's our role in that, and how can we support and be involved in that. And I will say from professional perspective, working at Community Action in Fargo at Seneca, you know, this, as you're aware, I'm sure, and the community is aware, this building those tribal partnerships could be very beneficial. It probably will be best coming from NAC members and from Native representation in the community. I don't know if the providing financial assistance will, you know, what that will look like, but how do we engage tribal partnership, I think would be something. And I'm looking at Catlin because we've been talking a lot about some of this, and I would be happy, I won't speak for Lisa, but I'd be happy to be involved with some of that work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Mahoney, for coming and for that. I guess I do have one. I have a couple announcements. So just a reminder of the Tri-College powwow. It's more than Tri-College now, actually. Those, I think there's 2 other colleges, so it's a 5-college powwow. Because the State College of Science and MSDC are also now involved in that. That's this Saturday, May 4th. Grand entries are at 1 and 7 p.m. The community meals at 5 p.m. I can't speak for when Fargo Indian Ed's end of the year stuff is going on, but Moorhead's is next Wednesday evening. Is there any other announcements from members?
Did you want to mention the Woodlands and High Plains?
Oh, that's what the one I mentioned. That,
Oh, yeah.
Some people don't know.
Sorry,
the
I meant
Tri-College.
the Ashley, the May 5th murdered in.
Oh, the fate. Brennan mentioned it too, but they're on Saturday, I'll just mention, or on Sunday, I'll mention it again. On Saturday, it's being held in Bismarck, and then they're coming to hold it here on Sunday, May 5th. It's called the Faceless Doll Project, and it's at the Indigenous Association from 10 to 1. And a light meal will be offered too.
Okay. Any other announcements from anybody? Okay. If there's no other business, then I'll go ahead and call this meeting of the Fargo Native American Commission adjourned. Our next meeting will be September 5th, 2024. Thank you.